Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving into something truly wild, the unprecedented fusion of ultimate fighting and the highest office in the land. When Donald Trump brought UFC fighters and events into the White House, it wasn't just a photo op, it was a historic spectacle that captivated, confused, and sometimes even outraged. We're talking about a blend of raw athletic power and political pomp that nobody saw coming. Get ready as we count down the top moments, the biggest splashes, and the ultimate highlights of when the Octagon came to the Oval Office. You won't believe how much buzz these encounters generated, so let's jump right in. Kicking off our list at number 5 is simply the idea itself, the unprecedented invitation. Before Trump, the White House was, well, the White House. You had state dinners, press conferences, maybe a celebrity concert, but certainly not a parade of professional cage fighters. The sheer audacity and novelty of welcoming figures from a sport often deemed too brutal for mainstream, let alone presidential, attention, was a shockwave. It immediately signaled a different kind of presidency, unafraid to blur traditional lines and embrace a very specific, passionate fan base. It set the stage for everything that followed, which is wild, by the way. Coming in at number 4, we have the Parade of Champions themselves, the actual fighters walking the hallowed halls. Think about it, massive personalities like Colby Covington, Jorge Masvidal, and Khabib Nurmagomedov, often fresh from intense bouts, suddenly shaking hands with the president. It wasn't just individual visits, it was a repeated phenomenon. These were some of the most recognizable faces in combat sports, and seeing them in such a formal setting, juxtaposed against the backdrop of presidential power, created genuinely surreal moments. It wasn't just a nod to their sport, it was an official embrace, elevating their status in a way few other athletes had experienced. At number 3, we delve into the symbolic power of this crossover, the actual merging of worlds. This wasn't just a photo op, it was a visual statement. The White House, a bastion of diplomacy and tradition, suddenly became a backdrop for discussions of knockout power, submission holds, and championship belts. It created a fascinating visual and rhetorical dissonance that few could ignore. For supporters, it represented a president connecting with real America; for critics, a blurring of lines that felt unconventional. Regardless of your take, it definitely made people stop and look, and that's the whole point of a spectacle, right? Our runner-up at number 2 is the president's personal, often vocal, engagement with the sport and its stars. Donald Trump wasn't just a passive host, he was an active, passionate fan, often attending fights, praising fighters on social media, and even stepping into the commentary booth at UFC events. This wasn't just a political outreach, it felt personal. His public endorsements and relationships with these athletes, often controversial, added another layer of spectacle. It showcased a commander-in-chief deeply immersed in a subculture, using his platform to champion a sport and its heroes in a truly unprecedented way. Talk about hands-on leadership. And finally, landing at our top spot, number 1, is the lasting legacy and blueprint this created for presidential appeal. This wasn't just a temporary trend, it fundamentally shifted how some politicians might connect with specific demographics. By embracing UFC, Trump tapped into a vast, often overlooked segment of the American population, folks who loved combat sports and felt seen by this presidential outreach. It demonstrated a willingness to bypass traditional media and directly engage with cultural touchstones. It proved that the path to the White House might just run through the Octagon, setting a new, arguably more populist, standard for political spectacle. Who knew, right? And that wraps up our look at how Donald Trump's embrace of the UFC created a historic, unforgettable spectacle in the White House. From unexpected invitations to groundbreaking political strategy, these moments redefined what presidential engagement could look like. What do you think? Did this merge of worlds make for compelling viewing, or was it a step too far? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this deep dive, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel for more unique content, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss our next upload. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.